I think I did 6 kilometers the first time, burst the tire. Then I did 14 kilometers, burst the other tire, and it's to get 2 kilometers from my house. And then a car that I was trying to overtake brake checked me. So the title of the video is correct. I've signed up for a 70.3 for whatever reason. I guess I could try and dramatize it or over dramatize it, but the story's pretty straightforward. I'm sure I'm not that unique. Throughout our 20s, we always think, okay, 20s are for partying and for messing around, for college life. By the time I'm 30, when I'm in my 30s, I'm going to have it all figured out. I'm going to have all of the answers. And then you turn 30 and you suddenly realise even people in their 30s, they don't have it all figured out. They don't really know what they're doing. So then you hit your 30s and you decide, no, I could be an Ironman. Nobody's going to question that I've got it all figured out if I go and be an Ironman. So then you sign up and then you very quickly realise that this is a lot of work and you start to doubt yourself and think that maybe it's a terrible idea, and I'm yet to prove that it is or isn't a terrible idea. I'm sure it's not going to be fun over the next 3 months, which is the amount of time I now have to prepare and get ready for this race. So I will be doing a video series every week. I'm going to come back here and record a video of how things have gone. I am reasonably fit. I can run a 5k, I can ride a bike, I don't know if I can ride a bike very quickly, but I'm not very good at swimming. I got into a pool last week and now probably 2 weeks. Got into a pool just to see, okay, this is a 1.9 kilometer swim, trying to see if I'm actually any good in the pool. And I can confirm that I am not any good in the pool. So that's going to be my biggest struggle. I'm convincing myself that it's because I'm in an indoor pool and I have to turn every 25 meters and that's throwing me off. But that's probably not going to be true. So I have ordered a wetsuit so I can go into open water. Thankfully I live pretty close to a lake. So I will be getting in the water hopefully in the next week. So this is week 1 of 12 weeks. Of my road to 70.3. I'm going to follow through now regardless, so putting out this video is confirmation that I will stick to the plan for the 12 weeks. I have got my ticket for the race, so I will be entering the race, and I hope 12 weeks or 13 weeks from now I'm going to be putting up a video and saying I completed the race, and not that I got to the race and then after 10 or 15 minutes somebody on a boat told me that I have to get out of the water and then failed. But look, if I fail the first time, I'm going to pick myself up, I'm going to go back at it and see if I can if I can finally finish this series. So it might take me a year to finish the series, but I will get there, and I guess that's the whole point of the challenge, or the point of doing this video series, is because I don't think I'm really that unique. I'm sure a lot of people found themselves in the same situation, said, well, what can I challenge myself with if work isn't doing it? And like, don't get me wrong, I have a wife and a dog. I have it all figured out, I guess. But we all want to challenge ourselves, but along the way it's going to get hard and we're going to start to doubt ourselves. And if you're like me, your family and your wife or husband probably don't want to listen to you talk about triathlon because it's not something that they have any interest in. So this is why I'm looking to build an online community of people that are going through the same challenges. And I mean, ideally, if I can come in contact with a couple of good Samaritans that are going to teach me how to swim, how to cycle, how to run a little bit better, because I can run a 5k, but this race is going to end with a half marathon, which is something that I'm not too sure if I can do, certainly not off the back of the bike. But I'm here to fail in public and hopefully show that if I can decide to go and do it and somehow struggle through the race, then somebody else can either struggle through the same distance race, or just whether it's a 5k, 10k, half marathon, a long cycle, whatever it is your challenge is, if you stick to a plan for 12 weeks, that it's achievable. And don't get me wrong, I'm watching a lot of YouTubers now or bloggers talking about doing a 70.3 or even an Ironman, and these guys are working very fucking hard and they're trying to aim for a 6 hour 70.3. That's not going to be me. Maybe in the future, if you're watching this in a couple of months or years time, maybe I'll have a new series for my road to a 6 hour 70.3, but for the first time I just need to finish the race. I guess at this point people might be asking, what is a 70.3? It is a stupidly long triathlon. It's called a 70.3 because that is the distance in miles. It's a 1.2 mile swim, 56 mile bike ride, and then a 13.1 mile run, which is a half marathon distance. In kilometers, that is 1.9k swim, 90k bike ride into a 21.1 kilometer run, which is again the half marathon, which is 113 kilometers in one event. So it's not going to be easy. Like I said earlier, those that are athletic won't even get it done in 6 hours. So it's going to be no easy feat, but that's the whole challenge of it. If it was easy, then why bother? Clip that I decided to go out for my first cycle with clip-in pedals. I'm actually pretty nervous about that because I've never done that before, but in the end it was actually pretty easy. You just kick down and kick the leg sideways, your foot will come out, don't worry about it. And on most pedals you can tighten and loosen them, so whatever suits your fancy. I know when I put them in, I was they were a bit too loose, so they weren't actually gripping my cycling cleat. So that was the one piece of advice I'll give you, is to maybe tighten them and put them too tight rather than too loose. Otherwise, your foot will just keep slipping out of them. The advice I was given as well is to put in your less dominant foot. For me, I played football. I'm right-footed, so I normally kick the ball with my right foot. So put in your left foot. If you're right-footed, put in your left foot first. Then once you try and pedal with the right one, not clipped in just yet, try and get some momentum, and then you'll be able to get your dominant foot in a little bit easier. I don't have much footage from my cycle today because it actually wasn't very long. You'll have seen in either recent videos that I went for my first cycle on a bike that I had borrowed off an uncle. Thankfully he's given me the bike now, so that saves me a fair amount of money getting into triathlon. He had loads of spares, so he didn't mind. This was his worst one. But went out for a cycle, having left the bike indoors. This is probably a factor, leaving it indoors for winter. So maybe the heat from being indoors left the pedals or the tires, the tubes, a little bit weak. So went out for a cycle, burst the front tire, had to stop. Well, had to get my wife to come and pick me up, save me. So then I left it a couple of hours. I changed the tube in the front tire. Went back out, managed to get, I think I did 6 kilometers the first time, burst the tire. Then I did 14 kilometers, burst the other tire. So maybe I should have just changed those tubes before I started at all. Maybe somebody can jump in the comments. Maybe I should just go with tubeless. I don't want to be out in the middle of a triathlon, certainly if it's not a if it's a half Ironman or Ironman distance, you're going to be cycling for 4 to 6 hours, I guess. I don't want to burst a tire in the middle of that and delay myself even more, certainly if I'm setting myself a target. But the reason I don't have footage from today's cycle is because it was very short. I managed to get 2 kilometers from my house, and then a car that I was trying to overtake brake checked me because obviously I must have been going too close. So I'll give you that bit of advice. Don't make, I'm trying to choose my words wisely here. Don't make cars mad because you could get attacked. So like, I'm probably a bit frustrated at the minute because this car brake checked me and I managed to clip the side of it. I was the first time in clip-in pedals, so probably not going to be able to get my feet down quick enough. I was nervous about the tires being burst, so I guess I was checking that as well. And I came over the front of the bars and I've hurt my finger, hurt my elbow. So I do have a bit of damage to my right hand. So I'm not going to go back out today, but hopefully I'll get that sorted. As you've seen from this channel, I do triathlon, so I'm going to get out running, going to get out swimming because I really need to learn how to swim. So maybe I'll just get down the lake. Now that it's a nice sunny day, we don't often get days that we can get out and run or cycle. So I guess I need to change it up, but I'm not going to go back out on the bike just yet because I think someone's telling me to leave cycling for a later date. Okay, I know that last section might have seemed a little bit doom and gloom. I'm talking about me getting injured. I know there was a video of me in the garden, a little bit frustrated about what had happened. But look, it was ultimately my own doing. I can avoid that in the future. I have gone out on the bike since this week, and I've managed to get over 20k on the bike. Like I did a 25k bike ride there 2 days ago. I went onto quieter roads, country roads where I'm not coming in contact with as many cars. Naturally, it's not going to be race conditions. The roads aren't closed. You are going to come up against cars. The weather's not going to be good because it's Ireland. There's always going to be challenges, but I think for now, I just need to get out there and start logging runs and cycles and swims. So I've done the bike ride. I've been out running twice. So I've got my 2 runs in this week. They are, I think, a 6 and an 8k. So I got out there. They weren't particularly fast, but I just wanted to see if I could do it. So it's a start. This is week 1. I'll work up over the next number of weeks. But when it came to the swim, I found an excuse because it was wet. The water was choppy. My gym is under renovation, so I can't go to the gym, but then again, there's no point in me swimming in a pool in a hotel for the next 12 weeks, only to get into open water for the first time the week of the race or on race day, because then I will certainly get pulled out of the water and all of this will have been for nothing. And then I have to go back to square one, find the next race and get back training. But I think my biggest challenge this week has been trying to document it as well as find the time to go and do my activities, my training outside of the 9-to-5 job. So the 9-to-5 job is probably more important than this extracurricular activity, but it's a little bit of fun for me, and hopefully I'll build a community where I can meet up with some people that have a bit more experience than I do, that are going to teach me how to do this along the way. But for now, we got week 1 done. If this is your kind of content, or you just want to come and see me mess up, or just watch me doing these activities over the next number of weeks, feel free to subscribe. Do put a like on the video because that opens it up to a larger community and it suggests it to more people. But for now, that's week number 1. See you next week for the next one.